Simon hated his coworkers with a fury unknown to man. There wasn't much else to say about it. Every day, he could see them moving things on his desk just when he returned from the bathroom. Every other day, there was a strange odor in his lunch that wasn't there when he packed it, as his lunch was prepared fresh by him every morning. From fake bird droppings covering every inch of his car, to nearly being fired for numerous inappropriate slides on his promotion presentation, Simon endured it all with a mild to moderate smile on his face. One day, the day he decided enough was enough, in fact, Simon arrived much earlier than the entire office, save for the janitor that let him in for a mere $200 and courtside seats to the game, which happened to fall conveniently on his day off the next day. This was but a small gesture to return the favor of helping him clear the droppings off his car while Simon choked back heavy tears. Rob was the first to enter the office space, surprisingly. He lived across the street and still managed to be late for work, but always had time to steal all of Simon's staples. This may seem minor to anyone else, but he used it daily, and it was the most important tool to get his work done. Then shortly after, Dana and Diana joined. They taunted him last year with the Secret Santa, assuring him there must have been some miscommunication during the Christmas party, as they never said he'd be getting a gift. They just needed help wrapping them all. Thanks so much, and Merry Christmas. Louis was last to enter after their boss Frederick, who took little interest in his childish complaints. Alongside Marianne, who just 2 months ago tossed his gourmet handmade marzipan that was gifted to him from his sister-in-law in France because she had a nut allergy, but found out the next week it was only peanuts and almonds were indeed safe for her to eat. Isn't that wonderful? But he didn't forget and would never forgive just what Louis did. He, of all his coworkers, brought forth the actual hatred within Simon. "Good morning, Louis," Simon stated from inside the dark break room, but Louis ignored him and attempted to turn on the light as always. But it seems the janitor may have forgotten. No matter for Louis, he knew the break room like the back of his hand, and Simon counted on it. He watched from the shadows as Louis approached the coffee maker. He could not, absolutely could not start his day without it, and Simon counted on it. In fact, the smile on Simon's face was made from all the times Louis stood by that very coffee maker and called him that name. Yes, Simon watched as Louis poured the sugar in abundance into his coffee, thinking of all the times it was spilled on his lunch accidentally. The tears fell down Simon's cheeks thinking of that name while the cherry was placed, or rather poured, on top of Louis's coffee. The thick ribbons of vanilla creamer turned his coffee from the rich, deep, robust, and fragrant brown that was the coffee in the pot. Stirring in his chair, Simon watched as Louis stirred his coffee. In the darkness of the room in the farthest corner, Simon laughed abruptly as Louis chugged his coffee all the way down and shook in delight, licking his lips, which Simon knew he would, and counted on it, because he needed him to drink this extra special dark coffee that Simon brewed himself this morning. Drink the coffee made by the same name he always called him, that disgusting name that makes them all laugh until their sides split. Oh, yes, they too will get theirs. Oh, forgot one, the janitor said, and fixed himself to change the light. Simon chuckled on his way out the break room just as the light turned on. He stood in front of Louis, who exhaled after slurping down the very last drop. He playfully punched Simon as if they were pals, something he did too comfortably and too often, then said, "Oh, what's up, Seaman? I didn't see you there, you little turd." Simon simply smiled, and Louis returned his classic shit-eating grin.